The project was restoring a beach. The challenge was the ground was too soft to even support weight of a skid loader with tracks. As soon as you try to park a loader down there, it would just sink.
Hey, this is Tony Bass and you are watching Dirt Monkey University. Check it out! Now!
That's where the Ventrac came in. First thing we were going to do was just give it a test run.
Cut that with the brush cutter.
At an angle.
We were just gonna see what it could do. We brought out the brush hog, we brought out a stump grinder, and we brought out a power rake. We had to remove the old dead vegetation, grind down and get rid of all the stumps, level off the ground so that it could be converted to usable yard space. We tentatively went in not knowing if the brush hog could handle what was down there. This thing was an absolute beast. Blew our minds away. I would have never said in my wildest dreams that this tool could handle brush like this. What we found out is this brush hog not only cuts it down, but it pulverizes it. It basically leaves very little behind, which is a beautiful thing because it kind of mulches brush right into the ground. This machine was able to work where I couldn't get a piece of equipment, but it would float over the top, making it deceiving how easy it was. The reason I say this is because one of my operators got a little cocky, drove too close to the lake, and the shoreline gave away, sinking the Ventrac down into the mud.
She's buried. But before we got it buried, we were able to clear this entire beach out. Literally, this is 15 minutes worth of work, not even. This would have taken two guys hours to do. Of course, now that we buried the Ventrac, it's gonna take us probably just as long to unbury it because we don't have access down to this beach. This ground is like a sponge down here. We can't get a truck down here, so we're gonna have to fabricate something up the hill and try to chain all the way down to the lake to get this thing out. Should be fun. Didn't think it could be done. But it's stuck. It's buried half in the lake. That's like sponge ground. Like when you hop off that thing, the whole thing just kind of bounces. So we can't get the truck even close to down here. That will get stuck. So all the way down there. Even though there's snow on the ground, we were still able to power rake the area and do a finish grade because the ground wasn't actually frozen. The snow fell and insulated the ground from freezing, so we were able to come in with the Ventrac power rake and level and finish grade everything. Now I could have used a Harley rake on a skid loader, but it would have sank. The Ventrac with the 8 wheels literally floats over the ground. This gave me access to an area that otherwise I just plain and simply couldn't get to.
After getting the beach restored, we decided to really put the brush hog to the test. So we brought it out to our woods where we wanted to cut some paths in 8-foot tall brush that you could not walk through. I don't even think a deer could walk through this brush. And this Ventrac literally cut it down like it was mowing a lawn. I seriously, guys, I would have never guessed this thing could do this thing. But it gets better. It's not that it's just capable of doing things that a 50 horsepower farm tractor can do in a tiny compact package. The better part is how it hugs the ground. We were able to take the Ventrac with the brush hog down into contours and in places that there's no other piece of equipment that I can imagine. Maybe there are some, and you guys will put it in the comments down below, but there's no pieces of equipment that I could imagine would be able to hug the ground, giving the operator a safe, comfortable feel while accomplishing the job. We call it the sketch factor, hanging on by your butt cheeks. Yes, you can get a lot of jobs done using a piece of equipment that's not quite right for it, but you're not comfortable. When we used this Ventrac, we were going down steep banks and climbing up steep banks and going sideways, cutting thick brush.
You know?
So you cut that with the brush cutter.
Yep.
That's like a 10-inch.
10-inch cut.
That's a 10-inch cut.
Yeah, at least.
Well, here it is. Here's what you cut. Grab a hold of that. Yeah, grab a hold of that thing.
Did I cut it at an angle?
You cut that with the brush cutter.
At an angle.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
That is nuts. I mean, here you straight cut. Okay, like yeah.
Yeah, I cut down. I mean, that's got to be.
Put your foot on top of that thing once, Frankie.
I mean, it's.
You cut that with the freaking brush cutter.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, these are the biggest ones. These are the ones I was gonna tackle that one if I figured we found one tree in there.
Well, I would have cut that down.
Ah.
You don't think so?
Well, I would have, yeah. But I wanted to leave one tree for you.
Oh, okay.
Grinding out stumps, grading. This Ventrac unit impresses me. And how well built each attachment is, and how it's got the end user in mind. There's a lot of things that aren't included in this video, guys. Like, I've pulled these attachments apart. I've serviced them out in the field with my nose pickers. Literally, I've had a nut or a bolt or something happen or a stick get twisted up. I've had to literally go out with no tools, just what God gave me, and try to repair the machine to keep it going. And I was able to do it. And I was thinking, holy crap, this is engineering at its finest. This is engineering by a company that must obviously use their tools. Long story short, I would have never gave it as much credit back then as I do now. It's a phenomenal little tractor that has the heart of a big tractor, and it continues to impress me. We'll be testing some more equipment out coming up.